Get in the game. Imagine you're playing a video game and you get on the loading screen and you look for 5 seconds, 5 minutes, or 5 years. It doesn't matter. Until you hit play, all you'll be doing is looking at the menu screen. You'll see other people playing the game. You'll see other people getting the wins, getting the trophies, scoring the points, getting the achievements, and you're just sitting there on the sidelines. You're in the bleachers watching the game take place, even though you want to play. And we have to ask ourselves, why is this? What stops us from getting in the game? Fear of failure is a big one. Number two, a lot of people don't know what winning means to them. They listen to what the world says a win is. You have to get this car, get this certain job. Your girlfriend or boyfriend had to look this way. Your house had to look this way. You had to get this kind of degree. This is what a win is. And they listen to what the world says that winning is, but they know deep down, something about this just doesn't feel right to me. I have all the trophies. I have the car. I have the girlfriend or boyfriend. I have the big house. I have the fancy degree. I have straight A's on my test. I have the money, but something just, I don't feel like I'm winning. Like, is this all that there is? And I want to challenge that. In today's episode, we're going to talk about why it is so important, not only that you get in the game instead of being a spectator and watching other people play, but also, what does winning mean to you? So, for those who are new, my name's Lawrence. I'm a public speaker and author. And recently, I've been writing a new book. It's called Play to Win. And the first opening chapter of it goes over what it means to get in the game. Because people will let that fear stop them. That fear of what if? They allow the fear of failure to stop them from the possibility of winning. Because whether you are looking at the game for 5 seconds, 5 minutes, or 5 years, you can't win it if you don't even play it. And a lot of times, people are playing a demo version of the game rather than the real deal. Because, don't get me wrong, if your ambition or your deep down your goal is to become like let's just say you want to be a janitor. Nothing against janitors, I'm just using this as an example. Let's say your dream life is I want to be a janitor. And that's truly what you want. Master that. Become a master of your craft because you know that that's winning to you. You know that your idea of winning in life is white picket fence in the suburbs, $80,000 a year, wife and 3 kids, and a dog. That's your dream life right there. You think to yourself, man, that's the life I want. When I think about that, I feel joy. If you wanted to work at a gas station and that's truly what you want to do, master that. Have the best customer service on the planet. Have the best store. Have the best inventory. Win that game. Get all the achievements. Get all the trophies. Become the world's best gas station if that's truly what you want. But the thing is, most people never take the time to figure out what is it that they want. We listen to what the world says we should want. We listen to, you need to drive this certain car. You need to live in this certain house. You need to keep up with the Joneses, but are you even keeping up with yourself? Are you even paying attention to what is it that I want? What makes me happy? Yeah, people say that I'm young, I'm 19, I'm 20, I'm 15, however old you are listening to this, and they say, nah, you need to come out and party with us. You need to put all your money on these things. You need to wear these shoes. You need this certain phone, but I don't want these things. I want to go fishing. I want to go paint. I want to read a book. I want to become an author. I want to play basketball. I want to do these things, but the world is telling me that I have to do things that I don't really want to do in order to fit in. And that pressure makes most people simply say that, like, what's even a point in trying? Because I'm going to be judged if I don't fit in. But the thing is this, change makers don't fit in. They stand out. Change makers stand out. That's why they make changes. Do you think that the first person who decided to create a new fashion trend didn't get called weird for it? Why are you wearing those clothes? And then with time, that person embraced who they truly are. That person accepted themselves. That person said, this is me, and I don't care if the world judging me for it, because I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not doing anything that's, tearing anybody down. I'm trying to build other people up. I'm trying to help people realize that they truly matter. Yes, you might be different than other people. I am. I'm a real odd person if you think about it. Yes, you might look different. You might come from a different background. You might be a black man living in the suburbs and you go to a predominantly white school, so you feel like you're the odd one out. That might be your situation. But just because you look different or you talk different or you dress different or your hobbies are different, that isn't a bad thing. It's just you're different. And everyone is different in some way. But the problem is that the world often tries to make us be like everybody else. They say you have to be like this person. You have to dress this way. You have to listen to this kind of music. You have to be this and not be you. So the big question on everybody's mind, but it seems people are scared to say it, is how do I be myself in a world that is constantly telling me to be something else? And the answer to that is you have to sit down with yourself and get honest. You have to look at everything that you've been taught and ask yourself, is that true? Do I want to agree to this? Is this going to still be the truth I live my life by? Because here's the thing. A baby comes out the womb, it knows nothing. It doesn't know up from down, left from right, in from out, black or white. It knows nothing. It doesn't even know its name. And with time, people say, your name is Tom, Sarah, Michael, Timothy, William, whatever your name is. People say, this is your name. Then you get older and you start doing things. You're good at this. You're good at football. You're good at soccer. You're bad at this. You are smart. You are dumb. You are handsome. You are ugly. People say all of these things to us. And what happens is we start to believe that. We will take the opinion of other people and say that this is who I am. But you have to ask yourself, why do you think that you're dumb? Oh, because growing up, somebody said I was. But are you? Like, on a deep, inherent level, is that all you are? No, it's not. Look at a caterpillar. A caterpillar goes from this little larva that's just crawling around. It has no defenses. Everything's trying to eat it. But eventually, the caterpillar understands that who I am today is not all that I can be. And then it takes some time in silence and it gets to know itself. For you, that's going to look like, taking some time to ask yourself questions like, man, what do I like to do? Yeah, everyone in my neighborhood, they like playing basketball, but what do I want to do? Like, let me figure out what I like. Let me try fishing. Let me try painting. Let me try yoga. Let me try dance classes. Let me figure out what I like. And then as you start taking some time to really get to know yourself, you emerge completely different. The caterpillar goes from a little worm throwing itself around to it is this beautiful butterfly that is flying around, and it's completely transformed. You have the power to transform from who you were to who you decide to become. You have the power to ask yourself, yes, growing up, people said that I was this, but that's not me. I'm going to be this. I'm going to decide who I want to be. Now, when people say decide who you want to be, the first thing a lot of people do is, I want to be the next Michael Jordan. I want to be the next Beyonce. I want to be the next Taylor Swift. I want to be the next this person. I want to be the next that person. But it's not about becoming another individual. It's about figuring out what character do you want to play. Because life is really like this game, and everyone is an actor in the game. So, the person that you've been so far, that's like the person that you were taught to be. That's the character you were taught to play. That's the life that you were taught to live out. And you have the power to ask yourself, okay, growing up, people told me I was dumb. Growing up, people told me I was ugly, I was this, I was that. But I don't want to be that. I want to be smart. I want to be confident. I want to be attractive. I want to be charismatic. Whatever you want to be. And you figure out this character that you want to play. And you start to ask yourself, well, how do I become that? A lot of people, they'll just try to fake it till they make it. Here's the problem with that. You're faking it. You know you're faking it. So your brain is going to go, we're faking. And it's going to bring you back to who you were. Now, here's how you actually do this. Once you figure out who you've been so far and what you want to change, it's going to be some tough moments. You're going to have to get honest with yourself. You're going to have to say, okay, who told me that about myself? Maybe it was mom. Maybe it was dad, brother, sister. Maybe it was your third grade teacher. Maybe it was your girlfriend from the 8th grade. You just got to be honest with yourself. You got to look at some dark memories sometimes and say like, yeah, you know, the reason why I'm having relationship troubles is because growing up, I saw mom and dad hitting each other. It could be like that. It could get real deep. But you got to understand these things because until you get to the root cause of an issue, it's just going to keep running on autopilot. Maybe the reason why people keep getting in these bad friendships or these bad relationships is because that's what they saw mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, and they siblings and their relationship doing. So growing up, that's what you saw and that became normal to you. So you got to go to the root and do some inner work. That might look like journaling. That might look like therapy. That might look like prayer to work through that. Now that we worked through the issue, we have to experience this like gap between who we were and who we're becoming. And it's in this gap period that you have to figure out, okay, what are the thoughts that person would have? What are the thoughts that the confident version of me would have? How would they talk? How would they dress? How would they walk? You have to build up this character. And every day, instead of saying, man, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart, I'm ugly, I'm this, I'm that, you change it to, I'm becoming better each day. I'm getting smarter each day. I'm getting more confident each day. And you start taking the kind of actions that version of you would take. Because here's why this is important. If you just flat out say, you wake up tomorrow and you say, I am the most handsome, confident, richest person in the world, your brain is going to go, that ain't true. Because for the last 15 years, we've been saying that we're unconfident, ugly, and dumb. So that's not true. Your brain is immediately going to reject that. But instead, if you are doing confident actions, doing smart actions, and doing things that the more attractive version of you would do, and you say things like, I'm becoming smarter each day. I'm becoming more confident each day. I'm getting better each day. Your brain can see that, and it's going to go, yeah, that's true. Before we never talked to people. Now we told the bus driver, have a good day. Before we never studied, but now we studied 5 pages of the math textbook, so we're becoming smarter. Before we never went to the gym, or had a skincare routine, or got a good haircut, or did these things, and now we're going to the gym. Now we have a skincare routine. Now we have a better haircut. So this is true. I am becoming better each day. And your brain is going to accept that. And the goal is to get your brain to accept the evidence and the proof and the words and the repetition that we're becoming better each day. And by doing this, we can completely change our character. We aren't trying to become a different person, as in, I'm going to be the next Michael Jordan. No, what we're doing is we're deciding, who do I want to be? What is the life I want to have? What does winning mean to me? Because some people, their idea of winning is mega yachts, sports cars, and mansions. That's their idea of winning. Other people, their idea of winning is having a loving relationship. Other people, their idea of winning is becoming a doctor. We'll say that. Other people's idea of winning is like what I do, being a speaker, being an author, helping teens and young adults to break limiting beliefs, improve their confidence and decision making. That's my idea of winning. So whether or not I get millions of dollars off this, whether or not I become world famous, whether or not I'm becoming, the individual and having the material things in my head, whether or not I get the material stuff doesn't matter, because it is the game that I love. I don't love the achievements and the trophies. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy it. I enjoy the money. I enjoy when people buy my books. I enjoy that stuff. But the thing I'm in love with is playing the game. It's like, imagine if you're a basketball player. You don't want to fall in love with the trophy. You want to fall in love with the ball. And in order to be balling, you have to be all in. To be ballin', you have to be all in order to get the money you want, in order to get that relationship you want, in order to live the life you want. You gotta be all in. You have to fall in love with the game, not in love with the trophy. You have to fall in love with doing the thing, not fall in love with what the thing gets you. Because the money, the success, the relationship, the car, the house, the status, the fame, all of that is a byproduct of the thing, not the thing itself. It's like falling in love with the fruit and not the labor. Of course, everybody wants to get the money. Of course, everybody wants to get the car. Of course, everybody wants to get the thing. But you gotta fall in love with the process. You gotta fall in love with the work. And at a certain point, the work stops being work. At a certain point, you want to work. At a certain point, working is easier than not. Because see, when I am just sitting around doing nothing, I want to work. And because to me, it's not work, it is love, it is passion, it is what I wake up wanting to do. Me and my mom, she was telling me this a couple days ago, that I bounce out of bed and like within 10 minutes, I am on the way to my office because I love it so much. And to other people, that can look like, man, this guy's obsessed. This guy's crazy. This guy, he would rather work than watch Netflix. I don't have a TV in my bedroom. I don't have a TV in my bedroom. This guy would rather read a book about public speaking than watch Netflix. This guy would rather go work on his business than go to a party. This guy would rather work on his business than do basically anything else. The only things I do in my day-to-day life, I work on my business, I go give speeches, I make content, I go to the gym, I read books, I journal. That's my life. Yeah, I go fishing when it's warm enough, but it's like 17 degrees out here today. But the point is this, when you fall in love with doing the thing, the results will show. And you are like, yeah, I like the result. Yeah, I like when people message me, man, I love the content. Man, keep it up. I love when the follower count grow up. I love these things. But what I am in love with is the work. It's like this, right? People want to get married, but in order to get married, you have to fall in love with this person. You have to go like, this is the only person that I want to commit to. This is the only thing that I want to commit to. I'm all in with this. And that's not to say that your life had to be all work, 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 work. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that it has to be that North Star. It has to be that priority. It has to be that thing where when the friends say, hey man, let's go to this party. You might go from time to time, but the majority of the time, you're like, nah, I'm reading these books. Nah, I'm hitting the gym. Now I'm working on this business. Now I'm studying for the test. Now I'm working on my degree for med school. No, I'm doing the things that are going to get me to where I'm trying to be. And you have to be there mentally before you get there physically. Let me talk to you. So years ago, before I had this office, before I had the podcast, before I was doing all this big stuff, I was there mentally. Before you have it, you have to have it in you. Before you get the money, you have to be the money. Before you get the reward, you have to be the thing in your head. So what does this look like? What this looks like is when you are thinking about that life you want, when you're thinking about, man, I want to get that car, man, I want to get that house, man, I want to get that girlfriend or boyfriend, man, I want to get that summer body, man, I want to get this thing, you have to think to yourself, the version of me that has it, that's what I want to be. I don't want to get the car, that's a shiny thing. I don't want to get the house. I'd enjoy it, but that's not the thing. What you really need to focus on is who I need to be. So years ago, what I was doing, I was dropping videos. I was making videos like I was already a world famous speaker. I was making videos like I already had it. I was making videos like I was that guy before I became who I am today. Because you gotta be there mentally before you get there physically. And you gotta play the game to win. A lot of people play the game as an observer. A lot of people play the game as a spectator. They're like, they're looking out and saying, oh, how's everybody else playing? I'm gonna play like that. How's everybody else playing the game? How's everybody else? Like, what are they doing? I'm gonna do that. No, you have to play the game to win because you only get one shot. You only get one opportunity at this game called life, and you better play it to win. You have to understand that in your life, you are the main character. In your life, you're the person who has to live it. All the good, all the bad, all the rewards, all the boss fights, everything, you gotta live it. So I'm gonna leave with this last message. Play to win. Do not play as a spectator. Do not play as a bystander. Do not play as somebody just in the bleachers on courtside. No, get in the field. Get in the court. Hit that three-point shot. Get that touchdown. Go for the goal. Play to win. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I certainly did. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to the podcast. Also, for pre-orders of my book, I will have a link in the description below. If you are a podcast host, school principal, or run an organization that's looking for speakers, you can contact me at lawrence@lawrencecharris.com. Have a good one.